Hi guys, and welcome to a new video on Sonor's life. Now if you think my eyes are red, I don't know if it shows up on here. We have just literally, it's been like 5 minutes since the New Japan Sakura Genesis show has just happened. And obviously I am back with the review. I'm trying to get this as quickly as possible. And just a quick note, I am still very close to 2,000 subscribers, so make sure you hit subscribe because you'll get content like this straight after huge shows. So yeah, I'm going to go through the entire show. Now, I am going to skip over stuff because this was like 4 hours long, 4.5 hours long. There were 10 matches. And honestly, and people are going to agree, it was one of the best New Japan shows in a very long time. And personally for me, one of the best wrestling shows I've watched in like maybe the last 2 years. From start to end, except the House of Torture. It was a phenomenal show, and yeah, let's just get straight into it. So we started with a special Shinichi Champions Grand Prix celebration match. I don't know, there was some celebration thing, and it was a really random match. So the participants were only announced when they were announced to come into the ring. So we had the weirdest two teams. We had Tanahashi and Yo teaming up with Desperado, and poor Yano was teaming up with his nemesises, the Great Okan and Suzuki. As you can imagine, it was so much fun. Like, Despy and Yo never got on, so them teaming together was weird. At one point, Tanahashi brought them both in to do some tag team offense. Poor Yano was terrified when he got tagged in by Suzuki, refused to actually fight Yo, and then like almost got pinned because he was distracted by Okan and Suzuki fighting on the outside. Oddly enough, in the end, Yano got the win by pinning Hiroshi Tanahashi. But again, random, full of comedic genius, a really nice way to start like an extremely long show. We then had some tag matches. Like I said, I'm not going to go over those much because compared to the first one, there wasn't much going on. So the first one we had was the Empire's Francesco Akira, Aaron Hanari, Jeff Cobb versus House of Torture Show, Yujiro Takahashi and Evil. As expected, there was a lot of cheating from the House of Torture. There was wrenches, Dick Togo coming in. Luckily, despite Akira's smaller size, the strength and size of Cobb and Hanare really helped, which led to Cobb doing a tour of the island on both Sho and Dick Togo to eventually pin Sho for the win. It was great. Nice and short. That match was outdone. We then had the 3 members of LIJ, so Bushi, Shingo and Naito, facing just 5 guys, Doki, Kanemaru and Taichi. Again, it was more maybe like to try and build on this whole feud that happened when Sanada obviously left LIJ and went to just 5 guys. Again, like a decent match, not much happened. The big thing, just 5 guys got the win. Kanemaru pinned Bushi. I think that might link to something that I'm going to speak about later. Again, the match was fine. Nothing really interesting, but nice to showcase the guys who haven't got a main match. Like, it shows you the level of caliber of talent in New Japan. The guys like Shingo and Naito are in the 3rd match. It is crazy. We then had another match, so another tag match. It was Master Wato, Hikuleo and Tamatonga of Hontai versus Bullet Club's ELP, Kenta and Finlay. Now, I personally didn't get to watch the match. From here, it seemed that El Phantasmo hit the CR2 with Master Wato to get the win. However, I did catch the ending, so post-match, which was the most important. So we have seen over the past few months, ELP's disdain for David Finlay. He's not really liked the idea of Finlay coming in to be leader, how they ended Jay White's time. Even though he's in AEW, you can make sure to watch my last video reacting to that. But we've also seen ELP have a sort of change of heart. So he now interacts with the crowds. He's much more babyface in the ring and out. He made a massive babyface promo saying like, the fans deserve better, they've not been able to cheer, I want to greet them. So after the match ended, David Finlay started beating up Tamatonga. Obviously, Finlay beat Tama in the New Japan Cup, so it'll be leading up to, I assume, a never openweight title match. And oddly enough, ELP made the save for Tama. Remember, former faction mates, Tama was Bullet Club for so long while ELP was there. Then Kenta came and we thought, okay, it's fine, we're going to sort something out. He then hit the go to sleep on Kenta, and the hardest thing, the world's cutest tag team is broken up because Ishimori also joined Kenta, Gato and Finlay on their onslaught of ELP. Now, this could be a whole other story, but what's next for ELP? He's out of Bullet Club. Jay's in AEW, but still posted saying he's part of Bullet Club. So it'll be interesting to see what's going forward. ELP for me, when I used to see him in UK, was always better as a babyface. And because he can combine that charisma and stuff, so it'll be interesting to see where he goes now. I put out LIJ. Sonada's gone now. We're due another guy since Titan doesn't really show up and is only in certain tours. So keep an eye out for that. We then got up to the bulk. Right, I see I've done 5 minutes talking about the opening matches. That's probably more than I wanted, but yeah, let's get going on to the title matches. So the first one was the Iwgp women's match. So it was champion Mercedes Moné defending against Azume and Hazuki. Now, you know my Stardom knowledge isn't great. As much as I've promised that I will watch it, things have got in the way and it's not really easy to keep up with so many promotions. However, this match was phenomenal. Despite the ending, which I think it was I don't even actually know. It said it was a moneymaker, but I missed it because it was almost quick and almost a bit clumsy. The match itself was phenomenal. I have been vocal about my views on Mercedes Moné, but if she continues to come out and put on matches like this, then she will go up and I will realise, you know what, she's right. Yes, there were some moments where she maybe looked slightly uncomfortable in the New Japan ring when she was going to and from her opponents with knees, I think. However, she worked. Because the main thing of this is that Azumi and Hazuki are very fast competitors. And they showed that from the very beginning. They were speeding across that ring, like, they were so fast, I didn't know where to look. But Mercedes Moné kept up with them both and perfectly balanced them. She managed to trick her opponents into teaming with her to help get the advantage. There were moments where each star, which obviously there was no main advantage throughout, was managing to try and submit 2 opponents. So, you know what, like doubling on the win. In the end, Mercedes Moné got the win and we have another challenger set. So I think that if Gato continues booking the IWGP Women's Championship like this and linking in with Stardom, because that's what the next show is going to be for the next defense, then you're really going to make this solid. And you know what? I'll take Mercedes Moné as champion. We then went to another match. So both the women's match and this match went for 13 minutes. And it was the New Japan World Television Championship, where we saw Zack Sabre Jr. facing Shota Umino. Now, obviously, Shota pinned Zack Sabre Jr. at the New Japan Cup. And they've been toing and froing since, like Shota's almost needed to get the approval of Zack for the title match. Zack even joked, if you beat me in under 10 minutes, I'm going to retire. I am obsessed with this belt concept. The 15-minute time limit is amazing. We have said it in the past that New Japan often goes on for longer than it needs to. This stipulation dictated the pace of the match. While both Shota and Zack can do strikes, submissions, but can also be fast, the pace of this match was fast from the very beginning. They knew, okay, we can do submissions, but holding them 2-on and wearing them down, we don't have time for that. They were constantly changing it up. So Zack was doing submission 1 minute. He was using the ropes another. He was doing his strikes. Similarly with Shota, he was trying to imitate Zack like he did to get the New Japan Cup win with submissions, so like leg bars and things, but also using his size and speed to an advantage. Now, I'm going to say there were moments that I thought Shota was going to win because it's the perfect belt for Shota. There's 15-minute time limit and Zack said it is for the upcomers. However, in the end, with a jackknife hold, I have to check there, Zack got the win. And what I like about that is it might not be flashy the way he won, but it shows the urgency. They were about 1.5 minutes away from the match ending as, I guess you could say like ending in a time limit, so Zack would have retained. Zack definitely doesn't want to retain that way. So the fact he had to win with a roll-up was great. And I'll be interested to see what happens with the belt next because Zack, we could have Zacky 2 belts because I know he mentioned that during the last tour. We then got to the main 3 title matches and holy God, you'd think by this time I'd be tired. Like I've not been sleeping, it's been a long match and long shows already. No. We started strong with the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Championship match. With the one I was probably the most conflicted about because it was champions Bishamon, Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi facing their opponents Aussie Open, who I love. You know, the 4 wrestlers, probably 4 of my favourite. 2 of my favourite teams in the history. I've met Aussie Open, such nice guys. I've always been a Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi fan. Now going into this, it could have gone 2 ways. We could have had a fast, quick pace match. That works, that's the same, fast and quick pace. Or a slow, sluggish bout. Luckily, it was the first or the former, and it was about 15 minutes, and holy God, probably one of the best matches, like tag matches I've watched in New Japan in a long time. Starting quickly, starting fast. There was already an injury a few minutes in. Kyle got busted open, had to have his head wrapped. You'd think he'd like take it easy. No. He seemed to get even more adrenaline. And Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi, while almost adapting their style to Kyle's injury, didn't stop their offense. Both together and individually, they stayed high speed, high risk. The dynamic style that we're used to from the two of them. And before I go on and speak about the rest, I just want to praise Bishamon because, oh God, something right. The tag division has always had a bit of a meh question mark next to it, but they have helped elevate it. They have taken a team which was initially two singles competitors who know each other well to be a fully fledged team. Everything they did was in combination with each other. They were playing off each other's movesets, and it worked seamlessly. Similarly with Dunkzilla and Kyle. Kyle was injured, but that didn't let him stop. That didn't stop him from doing what he needed to do. At one point, Dunkzilla dived out of the ring. Kyle moonsaulted off the top, like off one of the ring posts. And it just showed that like every minute something was happening. You had the Empire on the outside. Again, no interference. That's how you need to do it, House of Torture. And there was something there every minute. Neither man seemed weak, so Yoshihashi would have easily been the fall guy that you'd expected, but he didn't. He was there saving his partner. Kyle could have been the weak link with his injury, but he was there putting up a fight with help from Dunkzilla. In the end, despite blood flowing, Aussie Open got the win with the Coriolis, and it was, surprisingly, it was Kyle Fletcher, the injured Kyle Fletcher, pinning veteran Hiroki Goto. Like I said, it would have been easy to have certain ideas, so Mark beating Goto, Kyle beating Yoshihashi, Yoshihashi beating Kyle. Do you know what I mean? There are certain pairings, but to have someone like Kyle, who's very young, he's younger than me, beat one of the most veteran wrestlers in New Japan was perfect. And with blood dripping down Kyle, they held the titles, they embraced, along with the rest of the Empire, and I legit could not be happier for anyone if I tried. They deserve it so much. I've been watching them for years. After the pandemic, I seemingly saw them more than my friends. And for two wrestlers who've been working to get to New Japan and been stopped, they finally made it. And I think it was a perfect match. Like I said, 15 minutes. Didn't go on too long that had crowds going, huh. It wasn't too short, we didn't get to see action. It combined everything that is good about tag team wrestling. And rather than, like I said in the past, two teams of singles wrestlers fighting each other for a belt, it felt like New Japan had two strong and established tag teams wrestling. I'm sad that Bishamon didn't get a longer reign. However, I feel like if Aussie Open were challenging, they had to win now. And remember, they have a upcoming title match for the New Japan Strong Belts against Motor City Machine Guns and Okada and Tanahashi, I believe. So could we see Aussie Open 2 belts? That is something we need to watch out. And then again, like I said, New Japan tore it out of the, they hit it out of the park with this. We then had the IWGP Junior Championship match between champion Hiromu Takahashi and the newest member of TMDK, Robbie Eagles. Now, these two guys know each other so well, and it was another match like the tag one that was completely nutters. So going into the bout, Hiromu's leg was extremely weakened, and this was perfect for Robbie Eagles. Bear in mind that Robbie Eagles, as much as he's a high-flying junior heavyweight, is known for his submissions. That Ron Miller special is one of the strongest submissions I've ever seen after he does the Turbo Backpack. Now, for the first solid 10 minutes of this match, it was all about Robbie working on Hiromu's legs. So he was hitting submissions. He was literally physically hitting Hiromu's leg with his elbow, with his arm. There was one moment where he had Hiromu on the barricades outside in a very painful submission. I also wanted to say shout out to the female fan who's a big Robbie Eagles fan. She actually was in the prime position when Robbie flew over, and I think she got hit in the head by Robbie's foot. As the nice guys here, Zack Sabre Jr., who was ringside, went to make sure she was okay. She had ice. But I mean, she got hit by her favourite wrestler, but that, you know what, I hope she's okay. And kudos to the staff for getting her ice and for Zack for going to greet her and, you know, making sure she's okay. So after about 10 minutes, Robbie went for a dive and Hiromu got his legs up. Now, of course, this damaged Robbie and got some momentum in Hiromu's way. However, I think it also damaged Hiromu even more. So then from that moment on, it was more of a balanced match. Robbie was still trying to aim for the leg. He had the Ron Miller special quite a few times. But Hiromu also tried to balance this using his own speed and strength to counter Robbie. Now, I can get the sentiment. So in the end, Hiromu finally hit the time bomb 2 to get the win. While some people say it wasn't Hiromu's best match, but praised Robbie Eagles saying it was one of his, I think the reason is that after getting his leg worked on so much, it almost felt a bit impossible that suddenly Hiromu could win in almost what feel like 2 moves. So he hit the time bomb and then time bomb to defeat Robbie, someone who had literal control for the majority of the match. However, what I want to say and what I love, and I saw it on social media, is that it wasn't your high-flying, flippy-dippy match that people expect. Once again, New Japan has proved the diversity junior wrestlers can have. They can fly high. Hiromu and Robbie did that. But they can strike, they can do submissions, they can use a power game. And that's what I loved. And I think Hiromu winning was for the best. He only won the title at Wrestle Kingdom. And after the bad luck he's had with injuries during his title reign, I think he needed this. He needs a sustainable and a long reign for this. Now we're up to the main event. And I've left myself, I think, about 5 minutes to just talk about this one match. We had the Iwgp World Heavyweight title match between the New Japan Cup winner and newest member of Just 5 Guys, Sanada, versus Iwgp World Heavyweight Champion, Kazuchika Okada. Now, I might have had a little breakdown, a little fangirling moment as soon as the match started because Sanada came out, new ring gear, new music. He's no longer wearing like long pants. He's wearing metallic scale like trunks. That was a lot for me. But you know what? I feel like sometimes people probably think, oh, she talks about his looks. Sorry, this match itself was phenomenal. Like, aside from the handsome wrestlers in the ring. I don't know how other people felt. I mean, considering the views I've seen that it's one of the best shows in recent times, I think they liked it as much as me. Going into the match, there was a new aggression to both Okada and Sanada. Sanada, obviously, now going into Just 5 Guys, has got a new motivation. He's got guys on his side and he wants to do well. Even in a promo that he did, he said, yes, Okada's got his title on the line, but I almost have my career on the line. Okada similarly, probably dating back to his feud with Kaito Kiyomiya, had a new aggression. He was getting booed from the crowd. And it shows that the past few months has probably built up to this. They have built Okada as more aggressive, as more evil, as the heel, to give the crowds the chance to support Sanada. Throughout the match, I never heard an Okada chant. It was all Sanada, Sanada. Similarly to the earlier match between LIJ and Just 5 Guys, where Doki was getting cheered. New Japan know what they're doing and they built it up. However, what I liked is they didn't give Sanada a change overnight. So at one moment, Sanada might have had a bit of hesitation, and that allowed Okada to gain momentum. He went out and hit a DDT on Sanada on the hard floor, which is reflective of what Sanada did at a Korakuen show. Again, throughout, there was light and shade. It was fast-paced. Then it got slower as it went to the mat. And they each showcased their diverse styles. So Okada, he's fast. He's got one of the best drop kicks. But at one point, he almost seemed to disrespect Sanada. He was like, you know what? Sanada's below me. I'm not even going to try a Rainmaker. I'm going to try and win with a Money Maker, which you know I'm not a fan of. Sanada similarly he hit his own Rainmaker, tried to win with a Destino, because if anyone has been listening to commentary, they'll have said that in 2016, Sanada made his debut at this event at Ryogoku Hall, where he helped Tetsuya Naito beat Okada for the Iwgp Championship. So there was really nice parallels. At one point, Sanada brought out his signature Muta Moonsault, which would have got the win. But it didn't, because he has moved on from there. He combined so much heart and passion, and yes, while he wasn't in your face crazy aggression like maybe Okada or other wrestlers, he was definitely a step up from the cold skull Sanada that we're used to. saw a new passion in him. He was taking in the cheers from the crowd, and rather than letting it overwhelm him, he was using it to his advantage. Now, I can never remember the name of this move, so let's see if New Japan World's got it. Right, so in the end, the last few minutes were so shaky. Like, not shaky as in bad, but the tide could have changed anywhere. We were having attempted pinfalls, attempted finisher hits, and obviously Sanada was hoping to hit his new finisher, Deadfall. Now, there was a few false moments there where I thought he's not going to hit it, Okada's going to win. But he finally did it, and Sanada became IWGP World Heavyweight Champion for the first time. And I believe this is his first singles championship since debuting in 2016. Now, I was eating ramen at this time. So I was eating ramen, trying to write for Monthly Pro Wrest a review of this show. And also I had tears as I shouted and screamed, "He did it!" My mum was like, "You need to stop shouting like this." But she doesn't understand that for New Japan fans, especially for Sanada fans, this is one of the biggest moments. Kevin Kelly, I might not have liked him for shading Goto, but he said honestly, if Sanada doesn't win, he's going to become a Hiroki Goto. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. But he showed up and he won with just 5 guys at his side. Now, when the match ended, he went to thank fans, but then Hiromu came out and challenged for the title. Now, obviously, he did that when Evil left LIJ, he challenged, and he had the junior title. He's doing that again to try and fulfill his destino, I guess, of being both IWGP Heavyweight and Junior Champion. Now, Sanada was like, okay, but before that, you have to face someone. And Yoshinobu Kanemaru has challenged for the IWGP Championship. You know how much I love Kanemaru, one of my favourite and probably the most underrated wrestler in New Japan. While I don't know if he's going to win, I am so excited for this match. And it was the perfect ending to an amazing show. Sanada told Hiromu to get the hell out of the ring so he could celebrate. He had the lights go down and everyone had their torches. And rather than saying like Ryugoku is my favourite place, he said that his favourite title was the IWGP World Heavyweight title. And yeah, I'm emotional, but honestly, it was a perfect ending to an amazing show. It might have been long, but I was hooked for every single minute of it. And New Japan, thank you for putting on such an amazing show. So I have babbled on for like 22 minutes now. So let me know what you think. Follow me on social media at wrestling_chat. You can talk to me there. Or just talk to me in the comments. Let me know your thoughts of the show. What surprised you? What's your reactions to the results? What were your predictions like? And what do you think is going to happen going forward? We've got the Dontaku Tour coming up and then the Best of Super Junior. We obviously this week have Capital Collision, which because I'm away, I'm not sure whether I'll get a review out for that, but hold on to that. And yeah, just let me know what you thought of this show. Was it one of the best shows New Japan's put on in a long time? What were the standouts? So yeah, remember, social media in the comments. And as always, remember to like, hit share it with your friends. Like, let's expand this community and help me get to 2,000 subscribers. And also to help that, hit subscribe, which is there somewhere. I don't know why I'm just going like that. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed my video. Hopefully you enjoyed the Sakura Genesis show. And I will see you guys very soon. Bye!